My name is Major Daniels, and joining me in the studio this morning is the Honourable Commissioner for Information in Ondo State, Donald Ojogo. You're welcome on the program.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Okay, let's begin. Ondo State, so far, is lucky not to have recorded any case of coronavirus, and ever since the government has put in place a lot of restrictions, markets were shut down, and then on Wednesday, I think government placed a travel ban, banned people from coming in and going out of Ondo State. Apart from this, what other efforts have you put in place to ensure that Ondo State does not get on that list, the list of states with coronavirus cases?
Well, first and foremost, like you rightly observed, it's a thing of joy to us as a government, and it's a thing of pride to the good people of Ondo State that so far we've not had any confirmed case of the coronavirus. Yes, like you rightly observed, we've put in place a number of measures, very proactive measures to ensure that this COVID-19 pandemic is tamed in Ondo State, that it's not allowed to spread into the states. Well, we are not laying claim to the fact that because of those measures, it didn't come. We want to give all the glory to God.
God has been kind on Ondo State.
God has been very kind. God has been very merciful. His grace has been very infinite and very uncommon upon the people of Ondo State. Apart from that, yes, as a government, we have no choice. We have, well, indifference and inaction cannot be option for us. So we decided that these measures you have observed should also be put in place. But the mystery about this coronavirus pandemic is that at times it makes it improper and improbable for government or systems to put in place measures that will last for so long, because it comes in a manner that one can hardly predict. But God has been kind to us, trying to put in place short-term, medium-term measures to ensure that gaps are bridged to do that. As I'm talking to you right now, government is planning some more measures that might likely be disclosed any moment from now. Yes, people might want to say that we tell the why, closing the boundaries, the state boundaries, with other states.
Like Oshun, like Ekiti, Edo.
But there must be reason for everything we do. And there must be, we have to take very measured decisions. So whatever decision we take in respect of COVID-19, one will be directed by God, that is the ultimate, to be dictated by the circumstances we have seen, and it will be greatly in Ondo State, and it will be greatly measured by public opinion. If you observe rightly, and if people want to be compassionate to this government, we have been very responsive to the yearnings and aspirations of the people in respect of COVID-19. We have not really deviated from the feelings of the public.
Okay, it is one thing to put in place restrictions. Enforcement is another thing. I remember when the advice was coming, social distancing, if you need to cough into your elbow or you use your handkerchief and all of that. I went into the market. From my interaction with market women here in Accra, I discovered that apart from the fact that many of them were not even aware at that point, that there was anything like coronavirus, and some of them did not even believe that it could affect anybody. Until I told the woman that somebody died this morning in Abuja, you have to take this seriously. How should I say, I showed Tony. She had to take the hand sanitizer that I bought and quickly put a little of it on her. Now, let's talk about some of these major drivers and all of them. You still have people. This morning I was coming in because I live in Ekiti. I come here every day. I was driving from the Ibaraudo axis via Ibuji, and nobody was there to check cars coming in. Ekiti has the same measure in place, but if you're coming from Ado, you get to Ilawe, you see security people on the road. But that means after Ilawe, people who live in Ilawe main town and people who live in Ibaraudo, they can come into Ondo State and nobody will check. In fact, yesterday evening, I saw commercial vehicles coming through Ibaraudo to Ondo State. What is government going to do about this?
Well, this is one of the reasons for platforms like this. It's not just to come and tell people the measures we put in place. We also derive some advantages in form of feedback, and this is exactly what we have done. We are putting in place measures for monitoring, and those monitoring mechanisms that we have put in place, they cannot be 100%.
Yes.
But for us to achieve above 70 or minimum of 80%, we will need the cooperation of the people. For instance, the area you have talked about, the proximity is such that a first timer will not even know the difference between Ekiti and Ondo states.
Yes.
But here we are, we put in place measures. Government has to take very definitive measures, steps rather, to ensure that these measures put in place are followed. The problem we have in society is where we have deliberate disbelief, it creates problems for us. When this issue of coronavirus came, the first cases we had in Lagos, or maybe in Lagos. I recall very prominent persons castigating the Honourable Minister of State, Minister of Health, that this is a way of trying to siphon government money. And I believe that even those cynics are trying to key in. They are either donating cash or material resources to ensure that.
Buildings.
So we have this problem of disbelief, deliberate disbelief, self-denial, that no, it can't come. So now it is real. People understand that it is real. We know that we cannot do enough. We cannot do enough of orientation. And that is the reason we have decided to deploy all avenues. Perhaps I might be, myself and maybe a few, maybe Commissioner for Health and Special Advisor on Health. Majority of the members of the cabinets are in their localities as I'm talking to you.
They are not in Akure.
They are not in Akure.
But you have to work.
I have to work, so I have to keep working. I am here. I'm even thinking of going to my area today. If
Mr. Governor will let you.
Mr. Governor will say, okay, you can go. Because we know that apart from this orientation mechanism that we have put in place to ensure that the message gets to the grassroots, we really decided as a matter of policy at cabinet level that every member of cabinet should go to his or her own local government
and talk to their people.
So in the last 10 days, it has been so. As at this morning, I see the Honourable Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs going around our local government on Facebook, going around our local governments, distributing sanitizers. I want to use this medium to also appeal to well-meaning individuals that this is not a fight that government should be left alone to do, because no one knows who is going to be affected. Yes, government as an institution is here to take decisions on behalf of all, to protect all. But it is seemingly impossible for government to do all. So we'll use this medium to appeal to well-meaning individuals in the states and outside the states, indigenous of the states, to show concern, because it is very important. As a government, we won't be tired of telling the people the do's and the don'ts of this situation. For instance, we observed lately that, last week when government reeled out this measure of partial close of markets, that markets should be open, shouldn't close the markets then. That only life-saving food items like water, medicines and food should be sold in the markets. But people took advantage of it and started to sell even non-essential
I witnessed one in Ibuji. They were selling second-hand clothes.
Second-hand clothes. So those were the reasons government decided to come in a bit harder. We want to also use this opportunity to appeal to the people. Whatever decision that has been taken, as far as COVID-19 is concerned, cannot be totally pleasant. And that is the truth.
What is being done over the world.
So, yes, but it is our duty to appeal to the sensibility of the people. We have to seem to be sensitive. We have to be seen to be compassionate even in our decisions. We have to be seen to be having human face in whatever measures we put in place. So there are some who might find some of these decisions very pleasant. Yes, there are some who might find them highly unpleasant. We are appealing to them. These are just temporary situations. These are temporary times, and we pray that whatever sacrifice everybody has made either directly or indirectly in respect of COVID-19, as far as, I mean, in the form of conforming or adhering to the strict measures that government has put in place, will go down in history as people who have really contributed to stemming this unfortunate tide of COVID-19.
Now, talking about being sensitive, you mentioned that the Ondo State government is being sensitive. Now, for civil servants who are getting their salaries monthly, this may not be so difficult for them, even though human beings all over the world are social animals. They want to go out, they want to move around. So it may be difficult in that instance. Now, for those who are getting salaries, who are in their houses, who are getting their salaries, let's talk about people like artisans who are in their living on a daily basis, vulcanizers, drivers, for instance, commercial motorcyclists, and all of these people. In some other state like Lagos, like Ogun was talking about using community leaders, landlords associations, in reaching out to these people, sending palliatives to them, food items, and all of that. Even in Kwara State, is the Ondo State government thinking in this direction?
Well, I can tell you confidently that
there's some of these market women, if they don't come to the market daily, they are not going to feed.
I understand where you are coming from, and as government is not as an institution, it's not made up of stones. Government is made up of individuals who are human beings. Even those who have all the necessary food items packed in their homes that can keep them for as long as 2 months, they find it difficult to stay at home.
To stay indoors.
Now you look at the situation, very hard and harsh situation that the ordinary man, the artisans, will now face. Those who make their earnings through daily outings.
Yeah, some can imagine what they feel. As much as 500 now on a daily basis.
Yes, we feel for them. We share in their pain. We share in their very unpleasant situation. But government has no choice than to take these measures. And that is the reason Mr. Governor has been receiving suggestions. We have a suggestion hub. We have opened, it's not everything government can say to the public, but we have opened channels where we harness suggestions from everybody. As far as government is concerned, no suggestion is useless. Every suggestion that comes in from any quarters will be mobilized.
I know that government cannot do it alone. Let me give you an instance. No,
you made a point that I have not been able to answer.
I'm still on the same point.
You talked about palliatives.
I'm still on the same point.
Okay,
so
maybe
you
want
able to respond.
In
the case, for instance, FIME put in place a committee. The government is calling for people, well-meaning individuals to donate and all of that. I know that government may not be able to, shoulder all these responsibilities. Are you thinking that direction, or asking people to also try and help government out in this way?
Yeah, government is thinking along that line, but in a matter of hours, what government intends to do in that direction will be unveiled to the people of the state.
Okay.
Mr. Governor feels for the people of the state. He has not rested in the last 3-4 days, particularly when this decision of fully closing the markets and fully closing the neighboring borders, the neighboring boundaries was taken. Well, he knows, of course, that such measures are going to have some burden on the people. You can't just put in place measures without having a fallback position on how to cushion the effects of those measures that you are going to put in place. Mr. Governor is going to take a decision, but the truth of the matter is that no single measure, no measure applicable to one state could also be applicable to another.
State.
We are peculiar in nature. Look at what happened in Osun State. Look at what is happening in Lagos State. Look at what is happening in Ekiti State, like you have said. Our own model will also be unveiled. So the people of the state should not lose faith in the government. The people of the state should still be confident that the same God that has given the wisdom to the governor to put in place these measures is still on his throne. The same God that has given the strength and the commitment to Mr. Governor to put in place all these steps to ensure that COVID-19 is stemmed in Ondo State is still on his throne. And that same God has not left the governor alone. It's going to take a decision in a matter of hours, and whatever that is taken, the people of the state will definitely know.
Okay.
They shouldn't lose faith.
Okay, when the issue of people not being more than 50, not gathering and all of that. Churches, I sent out a report, from Air Center, a reporter discovered that even, Sunday churches were still, holding services and all of that. What are you doing to get or have you done anything to get a buy-in of some of these religious leaders? People believe them. Nigerians tend to believe they are pastors or they are clerics. What are you doing to get a buy-in of some of these religious leaders, traditional leaders, community leaders, to talk to their people in the language that they understand, so that they know that this thing is real?
Well, in our own case, we had no problem. In the case of Ondo, there was no problem at all. In respect of the ban on congregational services in the churches and the mosque in particular, we are fortunate in the sense that even the idea of banning religious gatherings came from the religious leaders themselves. So that is to tell you that even before the government's pronouncement,
they bought into the idea.
I can tell you that a few of the religious leaders, very prominent religious leaders in the state, made contacts with me. Some went to the extent of even discussing with Mr. Governor to suggest to him that religious activities should be banned in the churches and in the mosque. And because it came from these religious leaders, we had no problem. One, in pronouncing these measures, particularly the ban in congregational services in the churches and in the mosque. We have no problem in the implementation. And we are lucky to also announce that there have been strict adherence to that. Recall that we didn't peg a specific number. In some states, when they said 20, 50, 10, and we didn't, but we said no. And we put in place measures, steps that will be taken by various religious leaders were reeled out to them. Their faithful were also, carried along by the same religion. So what government did was to reach out to faithful of the main religions, as Christians and Muslims.
Islam.
Yes, we reached out to them through their leaders, and it worked well for us. It worked so easily because the leaderships themselves were already aware of the dangers of this corona virus pandemic. They knew that such steps were going to help greatly in government efforts towards stemming it. So we had no problem at all in handling that situation.
Okay, if you're just tuning in, this is Adaba 8.9 FM, and this is a special interview program with the Honourable Commissioner for Information in Ondo State, Mr. Donald Ojogo. Now, we're talking about the coronavirus pandemic. Now, what about, no matter what you say or what you do, you still have doubting Thomases, especially in some of these, the interlands, the local communities and all of that. Let me give you an instance. I think day before yesterday, that should be Wednesday, in Ibaraki, going back to Ekiti, I wanted to fix my tire. And then I stopped by, at a vulcanizers, and I saw these boys, several of them, they were not just seated closely to one another. They were shaking hands and laughing and all of that. Sometimes you wonder, some of these people don't believe some of this. That was why I said, are you thinking of reaching out to community leaders to talk to these people, not just about churches now, in the language that they understand that this thing is real and you have to observe some of these. It is for your own benefit, not for government.
Well, believability is the most difficult thing to enforce on anybody, on individuals particularly, in times like this, at times like this rather. It's a thing that we have to do cautiously. And we must be firm, even when we are trying to do it cautiously. We have to be firm. I just talked about the religious leaders. It's good that you are bringing up the issue of community leaders, traditional rulers too. That is our basic point of contact. I recall that in the community in the Riverina area, a traditional ruler was so involved to the extent that he sent emissaries to all the towns and villages. I know in the larger
some are even doing it with
local town criers, have been engaged. In some cases, some of the traditional rulers, without prompting from government, got themselves involved and led the onslaught in the campaign for awareness in respect of COVID-19. We are taking maximum advantage of all these platforms. We are harnessing all these opportunities. So the traditional rulers are deeply involved. We will not be tired of encouraging them to still get to deepen their awareness campaign, because it is not over. Nobody even knows when it's going to be over. We pray that in Ondo State, the status that we have maintained so far is retained, but we won't rest until this pandemic goes away.
Now, there's something curious that the Ondo State government did. I think on Wednesday when you made that announcement, that travel ban announcement. Ondo State have been saying we don't want vehicles coming in and going out and all of that. But Ondo State government, this is something that any other state, I've not seen any other state do in Nigeria. You ask people to go on 3 days fasting and prayer. I think today is day two. Day two. Why did the government do that?
Well, you see, there is no better way of thanking God for what He has bestowed on us. There is no better way. You recall, I am not a very serious Bible student, but
you're a Christian.
I'm a Christian, but my rudimentary knowledge of the Bible tells me that when the issue of plagues came out in Egypt, what
asked them to put the blood?
God asked them to put the blood. That was a sign that the Passover.
Yeah, that was
the Passover.
Yes.
It's what we are trying to replay in Ondo States. Even me, as spokesperson of government, I continue to wonder. A very senior member of the cabinet, we're cracking this. Donald, all these tests that we have carried out in Ondo State, they are all coming out negative. Are we sure these tests are properly carried out? No, that is, he didn't have any doubt.
I've had people say that.
Yeah, he didn't have any doubt.
Yeah.
But it was a way of trying to express.
And you can't blame, because when you think about states like Osun, the states that are nearby Osun, Ekiti.
When we go for our tests,
they don't have cases.
They don't have cases, but when we go, we don't have cases. These tests do not know the color and complexion of everybody, of any suspected case. Whatever that is novel that we have done in Ondo States could only have been dictated by God. Whatever we have done that is unusual in Ondo States could only have been directed by God. Whatever we have done in Ondo States that is pleasant enough for people to applaud could only have been a way to say, God, we thank you. And there is no better way of galvanizing the people to say that we must give praises to God. Nothing is beyond prayers. By the grace of God, even if we were going to have a case, the fact that Mr. Governor had been divinely directed to say that, look, the people of Ondo State, let's embark on a 3-day fasting and prayer. God can avert it for us. Yeah. We are seeking the face of God. And I know that God will not disappoint his people. That is not to say that those states that have confirmed cases have been abandoned by God. Because God has a way of announcing his awesomeness. God will not share his glory with us.
Okay.
It is a way of sharing his glory with us that Ondo State for now remains one of the states without a confirmed case of COVID-19.
Now, before we go, I want you to talk to the people that I mentioned earlier, people who I think and have feel this the most, the artisans, the drivers, the market women, people who they are living on a daily basis. I want you to talk to them. Do you have any words for them?
Yeah, it's simple, just to appeal to them. We share in their pains. We know how they fend for themselves. But these decisions that government has taken that are unpleasant to them are for their sake.
For their safety?
For their safety. For the safety of the people around them, for the safety of the people of the states. What they are going through, as pleasant as it appears, which is real, I really know that it's unpleasant in some cases, is going to go down in history as one of the very main sacrifices that everybody made. Today, by the time we come out of this pandemic, victorious as a state, yes, Mr. Governor would have been applauded are the one who put in place measures. But I know that Mr. Governor, aside giving glory to God and praises to God, will also acknowledge the fact that the least of all men in the states, the common man, the Okada rider, the artisan, the bricklayer, the carpenter, all made sacrifices. They will be remembered. We want to see a state that after the whole episode of this COVID-19 pandemic, we want to see where we'll all be rejoicing amongst ourselves. We want to see a situation whereby the least man will be in a position to tell even Mr. Governor that when you said we should do this, we did it. When you said we shouldn't do this, we did not do it. We want proud participants. Those partakers are not only those in government. The partakers are also those who are artisans. And for you to have participated in a very fruitful venture, you must have made sacrifices. These sacrifices they are making is going down in history. It will be recorded, and it will not be forgotten in a hurry. We still want to appeal to them to bear with government. Whatever little government can do, whatever little thing government will do will be done. Government will not shy away from its responsibilities. We know, of course, it's not possible for government to do everything for everybody, but government will show
what leaders at their own level should also do something.
Government will show compassion. A measurable compassion will be shown by government. We appeal to them to bear with government. We appeal to them to be their brothers keepers. It is in the interest of all of us that these decisions have been taken. We are all affected in one way or the other. We know that the consequences on all might not be same. And that is the reason we always take advantage of platforms like this to appeal to our people to continue to bear with government as it tackles this situation.
All right, thank you very much, our Honourable Commissioner for Information, Ondo State, Mr. Donald Ojogo. Thank you for coming on this special interview program. Thank you very much. My name is Oladimeji Danes, and this is where we draw the curtain on the program. Thank you very much for listening. Have a good morning.
Adaba 88.9 FM.